Welcome back to the sunny fields of Perthshire. And wow, what a day. Cold, but not a cloud in the sky. It's been frosty last night. I think it was down to about 5 below, -5 Celsius, give or take. Thankfully, the field is diggable and we're on another new permission. So this is part of a huge farm which covers several thousand acres. And this field over the winter in the last few years has had carrots, it's had winter barley, and it's been off limits. But thankfully, it's had barley in it. It's been harvested in August, late August, and it is detectable. So first time on it. It's a field I've had my eye on for quite some time because one of the farm workers back in the 1990s found an axe head in this field while he was ploughing. I think he was sitting having his lunch and something caught his eye, and it turned out to be from the Bronze Age, about 3,000 odd years old. Will lightning strike twice? It would be nice. I've also done some research. There's a beautiful old farm just one field over which goes back to the 15 or 1600s. There is a trackway that no longer exists which cuts right along this field, and then there's a sort of hollow in the field which is the route of the trackway, and then it joins into the road. So I don't know at what point it stopped being a road, but my guess would probably be sometime in the 18 or maybe even 1900s. So hopefully lots of traffic and lots of lost items. Fingers crossed. As ever, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit the button and help support the channel's growth. As ever, or should I say, as I mentioned, I think in a previous video, is a new camera, it's a new microphone. I'd be interested to hear what you think. Is it better? Is it worse? I hope you're going to say it's better, because if it's worse, I've spent a lot of money for not a lot. Right, let's go and see if we can find any treasures. As expected, in an undetected field in Perthshire, quick target, straight away, 45 seconds. $58. Maybe a wee button, a wee bit of lead. Or a wee bit of copper to get things going. I think it will be in there somewhere. Vanished. Sometimes that can mean it's a small target. And there it is. Well, it's round. No, it's not. It looked round, but it isn't round. It's a little bit of lead. Well, better to come. On to the next. Signal of the day so far, although it wouldn't be hard, I've only been going for 12 minutes. Initially I was going to say coin contender, but it's too big, I think. Too big, I think. Might just be a piece of copper or brass, or even lead, but there is a lot of moisture in the ground, so maybe it is a coin. No, it's not. It's a piece of lead pipe, I think. No, it's not pipe. Well, I don't think it is anyway. I think it's actually some sort of weight. Maybe. Let's give it a wee rub-a-dub. See if I'm right or wrong. Yeah, I think it might be a weight. Doesn't seem to be much of a hole at that end, but there is at that end, so maybe some sort of loom weight or such like. But could have a bit of age to it. Could be many, many hundreds of years old. But, well, it's a find. I'm giving it a wee bit of a pick out. You can see it's a very, very small hole. It does go all the way through. It's bigger at this end, smaller at that end, and that's what tells me it's not a water pipe. You're not going to get any kind of volume of water through that hole. if it's running off a tap or such like. So it makes me think it's a loom weight for weaving. Would be suspended, something like that, at the end of the weaving loom to keep tension on the wool or whatever it is you're weaving. So there you go. I think that's going to be at least a couple of 100 years old, but could be considerably older. 5859 produces what I think is probably a little lead seal. Looks well worn though. Yeah, I think it is. And it is, it's got the little notch there. Don't know, I thought maybe there was something on it, but yeah, there's some sort of shape or figure. There's a star there actually. So there's a star and something else going on. But it is probably 1800s in date. And it'll probably be for seed or manure. But it is another find. Well, after a promising start, it's been about an hour and a half of aluminium. And then we got a 78, which is awful low for a threepence. But it looks like Elizabeth II. Now it's saying 82, now it's out of the ground. Thought it would be even higher than that. But we've got our first coin. And that's us at about almost 2 hours. No need for a fade in, and the sun is out nice and bright as well. So you can clearly see Elizabeth II. She took the throne in 1952. It is a threepence or a threepence. And the date at the bottom, 1967, a big year for Scottish football. Celtic, who became known as the Lisbon Lions, or at least the team did, at the Estadio Nacional in Lisbon, defeated Milan 2-1 and became the first ever British club to win what we now call the Champions League, the European Cup. And they did it entirely with a team of Scottish players. I think it was 9 of them were born within 10 miles of the stadium. 1 was born 11 miles away from the stadium, and 1 was born 25 miles away from the stadium. So the entire squad born within 30 miles of Celtic Park. And there you go, threepence. Not going to get many pints of beer for that, because I think it was about 2 and 6 for a pint in 1967, which is what, about 30 pence? Ah well. Yeah, beauty. I think it's Diet Coke 1984, a classic. And look at that. Always nice to see a little bit of nature. One of the great things about coming out metal detecting. That is a red kite. They had been hunted to extinction in the 19th century. They were reintroduced. I think it was something like 1989. They were reintroduced. They brought pairs over from Spain, and I think it was also from Sweden as well. And in the last few years in this area, suddenly they've started to appear as well, and they're doing amazingly well. And you can see why they're called kites, because often when you see them flying around, you think it's one of those kites attached to a pole that's used as a bird scarer. So agile. Lovely to see. Okay, this is a nice one in amongst a sea of aluminium. Pretty solid 88. But is it any good? Not convinced, to be honest. Oh, oh wow. Look at that, how a day's detecting can turn on its head. Now that looks like a spindle whorl. Oh, and I think it is. Yes! Oh, look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, beauty. And look at that, 4 hours of hard slog. And to be honest, getting very close to giving up. And we've pulled it out the bag. Obviously earlier I got that weight, which was potentially a loom weight. This is also related to weaving. This is from a drop spindle. So this would be on the end of a stick. And then you would use it to spin rough wool into yarn. And that is very nicely decorated. I'm going to take my time to clean this up. What a find. What a find. Absolutely stunning. A little decorated line and dot spindle whorl. Now it's actually plain on the back, which is unusual. Normally they're decorated both sides, and normally they're that sort of convex, concave, what's the word I'm looking for? You know what I mean. Design on both sides, but this one's a lot flatter on the back. Now in terms of age, date, I mean it could be medieval, it could even be Iron Age, it could go back several thousand years. These are almost unchanged in design for millennia. So if you know, comment below. But that is what we call in the business a cracker. I'm not going to be giving up now. For obvious reasons, I'm scouting all around the area where I just found that spindle whorl. 74, and suddenly renewed enthusiasm, having dug aluminium, and more aluminium. Now every signal is got a bit more potential. It's weird. Dropped away down to a 59 from a 74, 77. It's a bit of aluminium. And then what you think is going to be a 72 in aluminium turns out not to be. That looks like a little floral design to me. Yep, I think it is. With a big hole in the middle. It is broken on the edge. But it is probably a furniture mount, possibly for a drawer pull. Or a little knob, a little handle. Probably Victorian, but it could be Georgian. Late 17 through to the 19th century. 1850. 1900 at the latest. Okay, I think this is going to be my last signal of the day. 63. Absolutely made up with my spindle whorl. Think we're out. Not sounding great though. I have it. I thought with it being a 60 it wouldn't be aluminium, but it is. It's coming in all over the place in this field, but clearly there's going to be some good stuff to be had as well. Well, what a day. What a day. I dug a lot of holes, and this video probably will not show that in any way, shape or form, because I dug easily 100 holes. And you've seen, I think I've only maybe got 3 good finds as a result. But, wow, I certainly saved the best towards the end. So let's have a wee look at the best from today. So here we go, the best from today, and I was actually wrong. I got 5 keepers, as I would say. We've got the lead seal, which is certainly got a star on it, so it's probably from 17 or 1800s. We've got the Elizabeth II threepence, 3 pence, unfortunately cupra nickel from 1967. The little bit of Victorian furniture. I think that was actually my first good target, maybe even my second or third hole, which looks like a loom weight from weaving. And the star of the show, this absolutely stunning spindle whorl. That's amongst one of the best spindle whorls I've ever found. So I am over the moon with that. As I say, date wise, even the museum struggles to date these, and once I do hand it into them, I would suspect that when they do eventually come back to me, they'll probably say medieval to 1700, so basically could be any time whatsoever. But as I say, there is also the outside chance that it could be millennia old. It could go way back to the Iron Age. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. What a find. Only 1 coin, but 1 epic relic. What a day. A great wee day out, as I say. I was losing the will to live there because I hit a spell of about an hour and a half when every single hole was either aluminium, bottle tops or tin foil. Relentless. But it shows you there's clearly some good targets in this field, and I will definitely be back. That spindle whorl has given me renewed enthusiasm. As ever, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit the button and help support the channel's growth. And also I'd be interested to hear what you think of the new camera and also the new microphone. Now, unfortunately, where I live in a rural area, I'm limited. I cannot upload videos in 4K. It would take days, and I simply just don't have the time to do that. So this is hopefully slightly better quality in terms of frames per second, in terms of clarity on the focus when I zoom in on objects. That's my hope, at least. Certainly to me it looks better, but you let me know what you think. So a really good day, hard work, but we got there in the end. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all on the next dig. So take care, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.